So I'm setting up a bow now, changing over from my mule deer setup, which I shoot a lot of, still have mule deer season going on from October to January in Texas. My mission for that bow was to shoot far. So I run an ultra view, I run a longer bar off the front of it. Very much set up for long bombs, launching bombs, doing that. And now I'm headed up to Kansas. This deer I'm after likes to be in some really thick stuff, and he's really old, and so we're going to change up the way I'm hunting. I've got a couple of tree stands set up now, and this bow, every time I take a little bit longer axle to axle bow, it drives me nuts. I want more maneuverability, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and take a 27. It's shorter axle to axle. And I'm gonna run an integrate rest just because I love them. I think they're an awesome design for every brand of bow that these fit. I say go with them. So for my whitetail setup, I'm not changing my arrows that I would have used for elk or aoudad or anything like that when we go down top of Texas and Aaron Snyder. This is an iron wheel. I lied to you, I may change my broadhead up a little bit. I may probably run like a dead meat, but I'll tune to a fixed blade broadhead just so I know it's flying well. But I'm not changing my weight or anything like that. I'm just changing my bow so it's easy to maneuver. And I'm a firm believer in having backup bows. As many of you know that on my first elk hunt this year, not the New Mexico one, but the Colorado one, I fell down a mountain and cracked limbs, and Amy said, yeah, you idiot, you should have had a backup bow. And so I highly suggest when you buy a new bow to keep your other bow as a backup instead of selling it. So I'm gonna set up the same arrows and we'll get that weight for you, but if you really wanna know, you can go to my elk bow setup and you can see the speeds and everything that I got out of my bow. I'm gonna use the same draw length on these two bows between the 27 and the 31. I'm gonna use stock strings because I don't have time to change them. We leave in 2 days and I need to get shooting. So I'm switching from a 2-pin Ultra View to a 5-pin Black Gold Ascent Verdict. That we have a custom head made for our shop. It saves you a little bit money off the micro adjustment pins, but still gives you micro adjustments. So holler at the shop if you have questions about that. But I'm running a 5-pin instead of the 2-pin because when I whitetail hunt, I may jump out of a tree stand. I may go on a spot and stalk. I may have bucks rutting. And after I get my range, I don't want to have to think about rovering my sight or adjusting my pins. And there's a lot of people, like I've seen Chris B, it would be no problem for him. But for me, I need to know where my pins are, and I love having all 5 pins there for fast action hunting. And then with the Ascent Verdict, I'm allowed to have a rover sight, so my sight moves up and down, and that allows me to still get really long shots. I'll still sight into about 100 yards with this bow. I think I'm very comfortable at that distance. But ideally, most of my shots with this setup are going to be between 20 and 60. And the Ascent Verdict just does that for me. It does everything that I need it to do. It gives me lots and lots of adjustment. It gives me the ability to shoot far, and then it allows me to have my pins there and micro adjustability on my pins. So that's a sight. The rest is a Matthews Integrate, which we talked about. The bow's a 27. We're actually gonna be at 29-inch draw length on this one. And many of you are asking why this is a 29. And it goes back to the same mistake of getting the right draw length. Sometimes I'd rather, personally, when I'm in a confined space, not be stretching out real far and be overdrawn draw length-wise. So I'm gonna start with a 29 and then slowly get this bow with a shorter axle to axle length to where it fits me as opposed to just where my 31 matched me. And right now we're just eyeballing the sight so that we can go get a paper tune on it and give you speeds of the ultimate whitetail setup. So if you know me and you hear me preach about hunting big game or whatever, I usually use a fixed blade broadhead. Killed many whitetail with iron wheels. Amy's killed some big mule deer with iron wheels, so have I. When it comes to whitetail, I just like to make them bleed a ton. I'm choosing between the dead meat and the mega meat, mainly because they're 3-blade monster holes in the animals, and I want a lot of blood quick, I want to go recover. That's what I'm gonna run between the two. I'll let you know while I'm on the hunt what I decided on. I'm gonna go mess with these today and see which one I like best. So we're gonna paper tune this bow with this same arrow. I'm gonna check the draw length while I'm at it, but for now, we're gonna give you speeds out of this bow at a 29-inch draw length. It's gonna be at 70 pounds. And we got a bullet hole, actually a little bit off, so now we're using micro adjust to tweak it just a smidge. We're a little bit low right. So we just need to tweak that real quick, and then we'll be money. Now that we got it paper tuned, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm just gonna sight it in, shooting a Black Gold Ascent Verdict with the micro adjust head that we have made for us. Decent size arrow. Now all we need to do, run it through the chronograph, kind of tell y'all what speed we're hitting. So 283 for my whitetail setup. I'm really pleased with that. It's a little bit heavier arrow. It's my elk arrow. I'm not gonna change it. I'm gonna use it for whitetail. So let's go weigh it and tell you the weight that we got 283 with. So that whitetail arrow is 473 grains, which is a little heavy for whitetail, but it's okay. We're shooting 283 feet per second, 29-inch draw length, 70 pounds. Ready to go kill some whitetail.